Hello everyone, I'm Kurt Richardson.
And I'm Peyton Burkhammer, and welcome to this episode of Lowdown.
That's right, this is the source for music, art, and entertainment in Akron and beyond.
On this episode, we've got a look into a local rock band, a talent show, and a new take on writing poetry.
Sounds like it's gonna be a good time. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, I'm Kurt.
And I'm Peyton.
And welcome back to Lowdown. To start things off, we'll be checking in with Tyrese.
That's right, he went to an open mic event the other day and checked out the band Satyr.
Ooh, Satyr. Isn't that supposed to be like some creature from folklore, or is it like a folk band?
Actually, it's quite the opposite. Let's take a look.
I'm Calvin, I play bass.
I'm Michael, I play guitar and do vocals.
I'm Brody, I play drums.
And I'm JD, I also play guitar and do vocals.
We're called Satyr. We're from Atlanta, Georgia. We play progressive rock and post-hardcore. Over time, people have started to say that I kind of look like a satyr because of my little, goatee.
I've never heard that.
You've never heard that? People tell me sometimes, but mainly we just thought it was a cool word. Yeah, well, lyrically it's mainly just personal, mainly like family and friend-based stories and ideas that I have from my own life. Because I write most of the lyrics as of right now. But JD, you started to write some lyrics for the new songs. I don't know.
But essentially, same thing. Just family and personal life stuff that goes on. Just anything that happens.
Yeah.
whenever I play shows.
I guess like the main goal I would say for every show is to like stay consistent with the live performance, you know, like not mess up and like
If you have a tight live performance and everyone is like really on point, it makes it that much more impressive and people get more into it. Absolutely.
I would say so, like you kind of feel like you've in some ways like won over the crowd or whatever, you know, like because you see people getting into it and you're like, okay, they dig it. Like it can obviously still go wrong, but it's a lot harder to like make that happen, you know, like even if like a little thing happens, it's like, okay, these people are already liking it. They can tell that we've like practiced and like really like worked hard to like perfect the sound and everything. So when you can like visibly see people like digging it, then that's like the best thing.
Yeah,
Sure.
and especially when you see people getting into it after one or two songs, it feels more like you're playing to like a group of friends rather than a show full of people you don't know, even though they are people you don't know. But it creates a more friendly atmosphere when you can tell that they're getting into it, which in turn makes us get more into it.
Like we just put out our new EP and all that, and like we feel like we've built a pretty good following in Atlanta, so I guess just trying to do the exact same thing in other places.
It's called Neutrino. We just released it on March 2nd, 2018. It's out on all the streaming platforms. We recorded it with our good friend Corey Batista in Snellville, Georgia, which is like just east of Atlanta. He's an amazing recording engineer. He did a really good job with it. I started writing all those songs back summer of 2016, and our previous drummer, Jack, who I mentioned earlier, it was really just me and him writing, I think like 5 of those 6 songs me and him wrote together. And it was just gradually perfecting those, and with new members coming in and out, and before eventually reaching this lineup that we have now in September 2017. It was a really fun environment and atmosphere because we just did it in Corey's house in his basement. He has his own home studio that he's built. And it was just a really fun, intimate atmosphere for us to record in.
And we had been playing all the songs live beforehand, and like he said, I wasn't in the band to like write the parts, so like I like learned all the parts before joining, and then like being able to play the songs live consistently, like kind of like coming up with my own parts and my own fills and being able to like improvise over that really like gave me the ability to like figure out exactly what I wanted to do for the recording process. So like overall it was like a super smooth recording process for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that band seems so cool.
Really, they have quite the unique take on rock.
Now we're going to change things up and look at my interview with UA's choir director, Dr. Bacoy Calavan, on her newest concert entitled Peace Through Music.
Let's take a look.
My name's Dr. Marie Bacoy Calavan. I'm Director of Choral Studies here at the University of Akron. Peace Through Music is a collaboration that myself and Professor Martin Steitler from the Hochschule für Musik in Munich, like the University of Music and Theater or Munich Conservatory in Munich, we just thought of this collaboration. Basically, 2018 is the 100th anniversary of peace after World War I, so that ended in 1918. And I've been teaching at the Hochschule in Munich for the past, I guess, intermittently for the past 2 or 3 years. And I've worked with the students there, and they've just been so delightful. And Martin Steitler and I wanted to create a collaboration that was unique, where we would have the students from the Magical Corps at the Hochschule come here to Akron. And we spent a week doing different activities, not just rehearsing together, which would already be a wonderful collaboration, but also we had an evening at Blue Jazz where there was just an open mic night where we could sing for each other, with each other, not just classical music, but actually jam with jazz music. We also went to Rent and a show at Cleveland Orchestra. We went bowling together, and then we had this wonderful concert where the Magical Corps sang a set of music from different parts of Europe, and the University of Akron Chamber Choir, which is the flagship choral ensemble here, they did a set of music just from different parts of the world, not just America, not just Western Europe, but Eastern Europe, Haiti, Venezuela, the Philippines. This was all about not just creating peace and collaboration, but also just a sense of awareness of the cultures that are around us that we might not normally get to hear choral music from. I knew it was going to be a really easy process from the beginning, but it was way easier, and the energy was palpable from the first rehearsal. And it also was evident that music is really the universal language. There was no sense of not knowing how to work with each other from the moment that Professor Steitler put his hands down for the first downbeat. It just blended beautifully. Everyone understood, because the way we interact with conducting, what Professor Steitler wanted. They all understood what I wanted when I conducted. Everyone was so attentive to write things down that it actually was easy from the get-go. I think maybe by the last rehearsal, the dress rehearsal before the performance, it just sounded like we had been singing together for probably weeks to months of rehearsal, but we've only had only 2-3 rehearsals within that week. So it was just really evident that music can really speak volumes regardless of what country you're from. This particular project was very important to me from the get-go of coming here as Director of Choral Studies, because I'm from California, and I've been very lucky to have traveled a whole bunch through choral music, and international tours I think are essential for not only recruitment but also for experiential learning. And I had learned that a lot of the students here not only haven't left the country before, but some of them hadn't even left the state of Ohio. And just exposure to other cultures, I think, just grows the human spirit. It creates empathy. And while we can learn things in books, we also need to be able to learn about the human spirit. So the fact that we had Germans come and meet the students, I think they've learned so much already. Just learning about each other's cultures, what things are similar, what things are drastically different. And we haven't even left the country yet. So I already see a huge difference with their sense of community and tolerance and understanding, and they seem so impacted. I think that they knew this was going to be a great experience just because they were going to get to go to Germany, but I don't think they even really realized how great it was going to be just to formulate relationships from across the ocean. So I hope that I actually think it's essential that this kind of thing happens for any kind of student, music student or whatever. I just think it's really important for us to just really bind ties together across the country and do that early on so we can understand other countries and other cultures early on in our lives.
Wow, that was awesome. You always find these really great packages.
Thank you. I try my best,
Well, we've got even more packages to come right after this break.
Stay tuned.
And we're back, everyone.
But not for long, because next up is Jack with the latest and greatest music on The Rundown.
Let's check it out.
What up, Lowdown viewers? Jack Stern here, and it's about that time again. That's right, let's talk about some cool new music.
Get off on you mad at. Sing it back when we was down, now they laughed at. I'm on my kids, I'm a bad dad. Looking for
SOB/RBE has been making waves recently thanks to Pandemic, their hit contribution to the Black Panther soundtrack. While that song had more of a general modern trap sound, the new material from the group's debut album, Gangin', is drenched in the hi-fi shades that have become staples of the San Francisco Bay Area sound. The heavy and fast-paced drums on the song Carpoolin' are evidence enough of the Mac Dre-inspired sound the group was aiming for. Some tracks even incorporate strange lo-fi 80s-inspired synths like the silky smooth Antisocial. This track prominently features my personal favorite from the group, Young Tho, on a really bouncy hook. Da Boy also comes through with a really aggressive and ignorant attitude, which sounds really at home on this style of production. The next track, Lifestyle, is an even more standout experience. Young Tho brought another memorable performance thanks to his sense of melody and his refreshingly homely lyrics about late nights talking to his cousin on the phone and trying to get his life right in the face of harsh violence on the streets. My issues with this album arise from some of the other members and their tendency to recycle their flows. Although the initial 5-track stretch of this project starts strong, you quickly settle into the formulaic nature of the group's song structure and the rapping style as the latter half of the album carries on. However, it's interesting to see a group that's so dedicated to providing a modern spin on Bay Area hip-hop. I'm eager to see where SOB takes their sound in the future. Anderson .Paak has been exponentially increasing his popularity at an almost alarming rate over the past 3 years. This is due in no small part to his riveting voice and his captivating personality. The man truly emanates a unique sense of confidence that few other singers can replicate. His sophomore album, Malibu, was full of a mix of strong tracks with funky electro-soul instrumentals. But sometimes this album faltered at points as it tried to stretch its overall sound thin. This latest track, as featured in this Apple promotional video directed by Spike Jonze, is a deceptively simple track compared to some of the busier material on Malibu. However, through simplicity, Anderson has found a sense of refinement that really suits him a lot. The trademark rasp and cackling of his voice is omnipresent here, but Anderson still comes off as more somber despite the harshness he exhibits on the surface level. His lyrics have such a genuine lustfulness for this unexpected love he has found. Even better are the velvety smooth pianos and harp parts that fill out the instrumental. Then things get even better as the ascending synth part kicks in at the end of the hook. There's just so many emotionally resonant and cool qualities that are going on with this track that I had no problem recommending it as we all wait for Anderson .Paak's next album. The best thing I could say about British band Everything Everything is they really understand the cornerstones behind making a driving and anthemic indie rock song. Their latest single, Breadwinner, is no exception to this rule. Lead singer Jonathan Higgs continues to put his eccentric falsetto on display with a series of eclectic lyrics about everything from a flat earth to 9/11. He seems to express a sense of disbelief and shock that is universal in such a turmoil-heavy political climate. The Spitfire rhythm of the lyrics gives an even more bite beyond just the relevance of the words themselves. The song also keeps a strong backbeat with whining guitars and infectious drums. The way both parts climax into the hook of the song with an almost unsettling siren sound coming from the guitars and the backing vocals is really satisfying. Everything has been under the radar for most of their career, and I really look forward to the day when their work gets even more of the recognition it deserves. The IDM subgenre has managed to persist for years, adopting every possible shade of sound they can grab onto. John Hopkins is one such artist who has kept a steady and innovative output going for quite some time now. Coming off his latest album, 2013's Immunity, it seems Hopkins is losing some of the ambient elements with his newest single, Emerald Rush. The glossy and shimmering synthesizer parts are still interesting enough that I found myself pretty captivated by this song. There's also just a really constant pounding bass drum part that keeps itself going throughout the track. The progression of elements backing up these main instruments is also interesting as the song climaxes into a flurry of backing vocals and computerized distortions. John Hopkins has rarely been a disappointment, and it looks like he's keeping the streak going with this new material. And that's a wrap. Be sure to check out Lowdown next time for more great music.
As always, thanks again, Jack.
He's got a real talent for describing artistry.
Well, speaking of talent, for our next package, Jeremiah checked out Akron's Got Talent.
Wait, what, we have that?
Oh yeah, we do.
Oh, I gotta see this. Let's check it out.
My name's Josh Villers, and I'm the traditional chair with the Zips Programming Network, ZPN for short. So the traditional chair takes care of traditional events such as like homecoming, mocktails, casino night, the welcome back event, pretty much stuff like that, and Akron's Got Talent specifically. Yeah, actually, so we got the idea from America's Got Talent, and we thought it'd be a great idea, and considering that all the letters AGT line up with Akron too, we could also do AGT, Akron's Got Talent, and pretty much we just want to showcase and show people that Akron has a lot more than just, you know, the academics and the education, but we also are very talented musically and, you know, reciting poetry and stand-up comedy, all that kind of stuff. So I picked all the people who were auditioning, and then once I have the people auditioning, I have 3 judges who will be picking first, second, and third place. And then the audience is actually picking the People's Choice Award.
My name is Talmadge Grigsby. I'm a freshman here at Akron, studying social work. So I play an array of different instruments. Tonight I performed, played an upright bass, played a guitar, played a harmonica, and I loop all that system. So I start off with the guitar. Once it's looped, ready to go, I bring in the bass in and loop it. Once that's done, I pulled out the harmonica, looped it, and then after that I started to sing. And then when I was done singing a little bit, then I go back in and I overdub everything by playing lead guitar on top of everything that I've had done. And then just from a variation, add a harmonica again, sing less, add more singing.
My name is Olivia Biss. I'm a senior. I'm an organizational communications major and a dance minor, and I'm always up at Colby Hall. I work at WZIP, so you can catch me Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 8 to 11 a.m. I sang tonight. Tonight I sang Royals by Lorde. I just did a quick cover of it. At first, my nerves really hit in because we didn't get to rehearse at all before we had to audition and then perform. So I didn't really know how to use the mic, and once I heard how loud it was, I was like, okay, I need to back away from the mic a little bit. But once I got my nerves down a little bit, it felt better.
Yeah, my name's Mensa Vyasi. I'm a biomedical engineer here. I'm thinking about going in psychology as dual major. I'm not fully sure. Taking it as it is first. The talent I perform is beatboxing. Outside of America, I usually beatbox. Outside. I usually parts of like Switzerland or European area. Well, I usually try to go into nationals and, you know, regionals, and then just more so it's a lot more prevalent in the European area. It's actually a sport there. Well, people have a lot of talents, and I just want to show my own, if anything.
Yeah, my name's JJ. I'm a double major. I'm in early childhood education and vocal performance, and I'm trying to get a minor in dance. I sang and played guitar. I made a Frank Ocean medley just because I love Frank Ocean and couldn't decide on a song. So I sang that and played it. April 28th at Musica in Akron, I'm actually opening up for the Modern Electric, which is one of my favorite bands. They're super good, so don't even come to just see me, like, go see this band. They're so good.
Wow, that looks so fun to perform in.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Maybe next year we should enter together.
Sure, but what would our talent be?
I'm not sure, but maybe we'll think of something after this short break.
And we're back, everyone.
Unfortunately, Kurt and I's creative differences have prevented us from deciding on a talent.
But we're checking out some more hidden talents in the area with Kiera as she visits Blackout Poetry event right here in Akron.
Awesome, let's take a look.
I'm Natalie Grieshammer. I'm the Arts and Programming Manager at Akron Soul Train, and we are at Compass Coffee for Gabe's workshop called Subverting Propaganda with Blackout Poetry. I think that this event is beneficial to the Akron community because as Akron Soul Train, it's part of our mission to help enrich the Akron community with the arts, and it's also a great opportunity for, you know, Gabe is our March Fellow, which we're sponsoring him, and it's a great opportunity for people in the greater Akron area to come meet Gabe, get a little bit, you know, see how he works, and gain some perspective into, you know, his art and his poetry. So, Akron Soul Train, we're an artist residency program, so we offer paid fellowships for regional artists to create a new body of work. So, it's across all disciplines. Any kind of performing, literary, and visual arts are the type of arts that we support. And then we usually typically do a workshop like the one today, and then a follow-up event or exhibition or performance.
So it's a way of making art out of propaganda. We're using pens, old textbooks, kind of books about politics that I can find. I went to different thrift stores and the bookstore and kind of found a bunch of different kinds of books like that, and so we're going to take that and make poetry out of it. I just think it's an interesting way to make art that also kind of makes a statement protesting against the way our political system currently works. I grew up like an hour or so west of here in rural Ashland County. I moved to this area to go to Kent State and then kind of came back after leaving for a while and ended up going to grad school at Akron. I took some workshops, but also just like studying literature. I think reading is the best way, I guess, of learning how to write. I've always been a big reader, so I think studying it in more depth and really taking the time to look at different texts, different poems, and kind of take them apart really, I think, made a difference for me. Well, I'm a big Kurt Vonnegut fan. In grad school, I studied Herman Melville, so Moby Dick is one of my big texts. Fight Club was probably one of the first books that I read that really made me want to be a writer. And so by doing blackout poetry as a way for people to kind of reclaim the narrative of what the text is saying and kind of find their personal truth, I guess, within these texts. And I think it looks cool, but it also, like, it's a good way of kind of speaking out, I guess, against the propaganda and the people.
Well, if that has inspired you to pick up a pen and paper and deface your household with propaganda, I don't know what will.
But sadly, our show has to come to an end.
Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ZTV Lowdown. I'm Kurt Richardson.
And I'm Peyton Burkhammer, and we'll see you next time on Lowdown.
This program was produced by ZTV at the University of Akron. To find out how you can make Emmy-winning media, visit the UA School of Communication online. ZTV. Make media. Make a difference.